Hey everybody, I'm KT. This is Joe. And this is Christos. This is the Jamaica Funk Show. And tonight we got a great show planned for you. We're going to be talking to a practicing Muslim, and we'll be talking to a couple of non-practicing Muslims, but they are a little familiar with the faith. So we can get an idea of what it's like to be a Muslim in America and in the Middle East, which has bearing on the faith itself, because the laws are governed by the Muslim faith. We got some poetry from Joe and some thoughts from Christos.
I already have my thoughts. What is
keep
this?
your thoughts.
What is this here today?
See, now this don't make no sense. This don't make no sense.
Today?
I go out, I'm being wonderful,
Yes.
the wonderful person I am,
Yes.
and I buy both of these.
Why gotta be those?
Because you are these right
Yes,
now.
okay.
A Santa Claus hat. Because
Okay.
they ragged me the last time I had one, but they didn't have one. So now all of a sudden I go out and buy them one. Being considerate, you know how that is. And neither one of them want to wear it. This one want to put it on his leg.
Wait a second.
And this one here, she's wearing it now.
Okay,
But I mean, she
In my
ragged me
defense-
when she
in
came
my
in and I
defense-
gave it to her.
In my defense, a bit, but I'm wearing the hat. I
Okay.
like the hat.
Okay.
I was just funning with you last week, but I like my hat. I wear a hat at home for Christmas. Trust me, I'm good. Yep. I got it.
And I really thought about yours because I know you don't like fake fur. So I went and got you one that was made of felt versus fake fur, so you didn't have to be feeling all crazy.
We
or
should
what
make,
have you.
now that you mentioned Christos fur, should make this out of real fur.
How come
Well,
everything
you
I come out
know-
to an advertisement for Christos?
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. You should do a lot of things. Like you should put that hat on your head and be good. Okay? Like the rest of
goodness
us.
No,
sake.
I mean,
you
it's
know-
holiday, it's Christmas.
It is, but I thought Christmas is about nativity. Not
Thinking
some
ain't your bag,
It's
bro.
a native felt wear it, dude.
So so I got a conversation for y'all because I know you're itching to get in there and do some craziness. So we gonna have a little crazy moment right quick, okay?
Oh, you mean the one that's happening right now?
Yeah.
We're continuing the craziness.
Yeah, we got a little craziness going on. So I want to talk about hypocrites.
that's my
There we are.
See, I told you, didn't I tell you?
Just through the rock and the water.
So I want to talk. I was reading a book called Happiness Hypothesis. But the author was talking about hypocrisy and how we as human beings has a tendency to perpetrate on others, but when it turns around and comes back at us, then we want to run for cover. So he was talking about Rush Limbaugh.
Rush Limbaugh. Oh no. America's biggest hypocrite.
Rush Limbaugh. Rush Limbaugh. He's a radio personality on TV. Yes, he is. And anyways, he was talking about how they should incarcerate black guys for dealing drugs and selling drugs, and how they should get greater sentences, and how whites should be not held accountable in the same fashion. Okay? But he was saying, they should be harshly punished. Because, Bill Clinton passed that law, 3 strikes you're out. So, and that was pertaining to the drug laws. So the average black guy who's gotten caught 3 times for selling drugs.
Felony.
Felony.
3 times the felon. I got it. Yeah, that's the law.
Will go to jail for life. And so Rush Limbaugh was applauding it. Come to find out, Rush Limbaugh has been known to purchase large quantities of oxycodone, better known as hillbilly heroin.
Oxycodone, though.
Yeah.
Oxycontin.
Yeah, and that's a painkiller, basically. But obviously,
I'm sure he did more than that.
I'm sure
So,
he did too.
You showed
What
me,
he got caught with probably the tip of the iceberg.
you showed me one American that he didn't, except me.
What was that again?
Well, listen, what do you mean was it? You, from high school and on, you show me one politician, one movie star or what have you that hasn't done some kind of illegal drug. Stop it, people.
Okay, but this isn't about illegal drugs. This is about
What is
people
it? It's
who
the
are...
hypocrites, and then all of a sudden they come up and they say, "Oh no,
Okay,
that's
but
not
you're,
good."
You're veering away from the
The
overall subject, which is hypocrisy. And Rush Limbaugh is her first point on one of the world's biggest hypocrites, because he is. I'm not gonna get ugly about it, but I do agree. Among other things, I mean, he talks about gays and lesbians and transsexuals, and he's got his mouth opens and closes and spews on a regular basis. And it's all because he's part of is he part of the alt-right? He probably is a card-carrying member.
Yes.
But he is one of the biggest hypocrites there is. And he has a very large following for his show. That's why he does what he does. But then a lot of hypocrites do. They say everything that people want to hear to keep them coming, to keep them listening.
From the whole conversation that you spit out, the one word that sticked in my mind. Followers. People are sheep, right? You put a guy in front and the rest of them will follow him like a sheep.
Oh, sheep.
After.
He's saying sheep, not ships.
I thought he said ships.
It sounds like ships to me too.
The disclaimer stays in place, people. Here we're holding to that disclaimer.
I listen.
Last week you threw us.
I listened
No,
to him.
let's just get crazy.
What?
Last week you threw us. We was like, oh, we don't have nothing to do with what he's about to say. He waxed all eloquent and everything, you know.
Yeah.
We were like, oh, well, let's do people up. He was Moses almost.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes, I
Yeah.
was.
Today we're
But
sheep.
that was last week. I listened to him periodically, and it's just like a tape. You can't make any sense. He jumps from one subject to another, and you can't stand listening to him more than 5 minutes. At least me. I listen to his programs. I mean, I don't know where he grew up, what his life was all about, but I think he comes from the left, the right, and the middle filled all together at once.
Wow. Well, I'm going to agree with you on that. But personally, I think he comes from the deepest, darkest depth hole in the ground that he dug for himself, and now he's in it so deep. Even if he changed his mind, no one would believe it.
You know, we have to remember another thing too.
Yeah, what do we mean?
Do you remember that all these sheep that they follow him, the radio station that he's on, they're selling commercials. So it's all business. I mean, you know what I
We
mean?
don't have to discuss that part, but the reality is we are talking about hypocrisy, and he is a huge one.
He's a huge hypocrite.
So go on, Katie. Who else you
So
got?
another hypocrite is Donald Trump.
God, do we have to bring him up?
Yes,
Oh,
we
Oh.
do. Yes, we do. Because here's the thing, he has said to the American people, I'm going to get rid of that Obamacare. It ain't no good. And now all of a sudden he's finding that there is some good in it and there are some things that he needs to keep. You know, and then another thing.
What he's found is he's going to piss off 11 million people is what he's found. That's
What
he's
bothers
found.
me with the Obamacare, guys, how can you have 2,500 pages of insurance, of this and that? It's very simple. You go to your doctor, they cure you, and you're done. Sign 2,500 pages of health insurance. What are you doing?
It's all the contractual and
What
legalese
contractual?
that goes into
That's why
making the
hypocrisy
bill.
comes in. Either you're there or you're not.
No,
Why
no,
do
no.
you have to sign?
I understand what you're saying.
Even you go buy a damn house, you have to use to sign 2 papers.
Oh,
There
no,
are so many
no.
Wait,
Oh,
wait,
no.
wait,
You have
wait.
to
Hold
sign
on.
2,000
But there
pages.
are different parties involved when you're talking about health care. There are. The Health Care Act involved a lot of different bodies, a lot of different insurance companies, and you know.
There's a lot of components to it.
Exactly. When President Obama originally set up the Health Care Act, it was taken from him by the Republicans, and then they stepped all over it, and they did like this. They mixed up all the pages, and they added some shit, and they deleted some shit, and they said, now you can have it, and that's what we got at the end.
You know
So
what?
we don't
here's-
even know what
here's
the
the-
original bill
I
is
know what I
going
want
to
Okay,
do.
so but let me say
Okay,
this.
then
Let me
I'll
say
tell you
this.
that. Okay.
The thing is we're getting off the path. We're talking about hypocrites. Okay.
Yeah.
But now
I was
just
talking
want
about hypocrites.
I just wanna piggyback off of what you did say about Obamacare, and that is Obamacare.
Yes.
Have you read it?
I have an answer for you. Go ahead.
No, I said, have you read it?
I know I don't have to.
Okay, so one, you haven't read it. Okay, so my next question
Yeah.
is, do you have Obamacare?
No.
Every American is supposed to have Obamacare. You cannot talk about Obamacare if you don't know anything about it.
I have a
now,
problem.
wait a minute, but my problem is hypocrites, and you're being rightfully hypocritical right about now.
No, I'm gonna
Oh,
answer
yes,
you.
but you're being
But
hypocritical.
you're being hypocritical.
What
Because
is
you
your
don't
I told you I don't
have
have
it.
his.
You don't have Obamacare.
And
Right.
this is-
You
this is
never
the law.
read it. You never
Right.
read the 200 and some odd pages that you just quoted that they
Yes,
have.
right.
But you've never read it, so you don't know whether or not if it's something good in there, whether or not if it's something bad in there, or something that's in the middle of the house.
2,000 page. Give me a minute.
And then one more thing.
Yeah.
In terms of buying a house in America, I can tell you, I used to own a mortgage company. And yes, you do sign probably about, you got about 200 pages to initial, and some you got to sign. It's a long, lengthy process that for some takes an attorney. Okay?
Okay. Now let's talk about hypocrites, right?
Yes, please.
Hypocrisy.
I'm not a hypocrite because I don't have Obamacare. I didn't read it. I could say I read it and I have it or don't have it. But let me just ask you this. Who is hypocritical here now? Instead of signing 2,000 pages that nobody read, why didn't the Congress and the Senator said, listen, Mr. President, we, the congressmen, have insurance, right? They're all insured. Let's give the American people the same insurance. Done. Why
Because
do we have to
they're
sign it?
hypocrites. That's why.
And wait
okay.
a minute. 2,000 pages, they read it. They
They
read
want
it.
to change
Wait a minute,
it.
wait a minute,
The-
wait a
the-
minute.
the-
Just listen.
Their
the-
secretaries
the-
read it.
No,
The
no.
You mean every
senators-
congressman read
No,
2,000
This-
pages?
My turn. The senators and the congressmen took that bill and they chopped it up and diced it into tiny, weeny, little bitty pieces. They took out what the president wanted in. They added what they wanted in. It got this big.
You
And
still
by
didn't answer my question.
I am answering your
How?
question. You're too busy looking for the next answer. Listen
Oh, really?
to mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Listen,
That really is
they
true.
took the senators. They took the Obamacare bill, since that's what it's called now, but it's still the Health Care Act, and they diced it up. They took out everything that they thought was not going to be beneficial to them. And then they added in things that would be not only be beneficial to them, but would piss everybody else off, like making the premiums ridiculously high, to saying that it had to be a law for everybody to have it. I don't honestly think that the original bill stated that. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I would like to chime in here. First of all, if you look at premiums of insurance, because that's what a lot of people's gripes are. A lot of people are griping about the premiums are very high. But if you look at over the course of the last 14 years, before Obama went into office, insurance rose, the premium rose over 17% before Obama in 1 year. Because I was talking to a doctor friend of mine, and he was saying to me he doesn't understand why Americans have an issue with Obamacare. You gotta understand, the Republicans read the stuff. That's the reason why they sliced and diced it, as Joe said.
Their secretaries read it, not
Hey, no,
themselves.
Whatever the
no,
case
no.
may
It
be,
really doesn't.
Christos, they got a hold of it, and by the time President Obama got it back, his main goal was to make sure that everybody in the country were able to have health care.
They didn't have to go all that length.
They
This
did it,
great-
but they did, and it wasn't just President
So-
great
Obama.
country-
So guys, wait a minute. We're going over,
Yes, we
and we really need to take a break. So, guys, we'll be right back in a moment. Well, I'm Raymond.
You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it,
Like it never happened.
B, work with what you got, or C, show solidarity?
Thank you, baby.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers, but you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
So we're back with our guests. We have Sia, and we also have
Holimah Muhammad.
she is the daughter of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad of the Nation of Islam. She is a practicing Western Muslim. Welcome, guys.
Excuse me, I want to make one correction. I'm a granddaughter.
Yes.
Oh, she is the granddaughter of the
Yes.
great the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Holimah Muhammad Ali.
Yes.
Okay. So, Holimah, can you tell us a little bit about the Nation of Islam and what it is to be a practicing Muslim in America?
Okay, that's a big question. What is it? I can start out with the part about the Nation of Islam, which was started by Professor Farad Muhammad, also known as W.B. Muhammad, and alias names. He was the one who taught the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and assigned him to be in 1934 to lead the Lost Foundation of Islam. That was in 1934 when he departed from Professor Farad, or Master Farad, departed and left it. And before his leaving, and I'm painting a picture here, before his leaving, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's wife, Sister Clara, was pregnant with her seventh child. And they called Master Farad the Savior, so that's what I'll refer to him as. The people then called him the Savior.
Okay.
When the Savior said to her, said to Elijah Muhammad, he said, the child that your wife is carrying is going to be a boy, and name him after me, because he's going to help us. He merged his son Wallace, B. Muhammad.
Wait a minute. Let me stop you there for a moment. In 1975, is this when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad passed away?
Yes, he passed on February the 25th, 1975. The following day was our annual Savior's Day convention, asked and accepted to be the leader of the Nation of Islam. So the Nation of Islam basically evolved from that point. We haven't lost anything of it in terms of all of the wonderful history or that which it was meant to be. So I'll leave that open at that point, because the Nation of Islam evolved to the world community of Islam in the West.
Now, I want to ask you another question. What about the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan?
Okay, Minister Louis Farrakhan also accepted to support the leadership of, at the time he was called Chief Minister, Wallace B. Muhammad, but he felt a need to return to the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And let me qualify something with that by saying that several years before the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's passing, I witnessed him talking to Minister Farrakhan and also talking to my uncle, Imam Waziruddin Muhammad. And he said to Minister Farrakhan, he said, "Brother, I want you and my son to go out and mop up the wilderness." So he intended for them to work together, not necessarily under one another or side by side, but work together to bring about what was intended in 1930.
Okay. Now, what you said, mop up the wilderness? Can you clarify that for me?
He told Minister Farrakhan, "I want you and my son to go out there and mop up the wilderness." And he was basically saying the wilderness of North America, or this unbridled society of immorality, that where our people were drowning and needed to be saved.
I have another guest here, Sia, who is a non-practicing Muslim who resides in a Muslim country.
Yes.
And I got a couple questions for you. What is it like living in a Muslim country as a non-practicing Muslim?
Well, in contrast to what most people think, it really is very easy because they don't judge you whether or not you're a Muslim. It's easy. I mean, they're loving, caring people. They're people. They're humans. They have the same needs as everybody else. So it's very easy. It's very easy.
Well, right now, this interview with Holimah and you, we want to dispel some of the myths that are going around right now in our country, because people feel like if they see you, well, whether you're brown skin or not, but if you're dressed a certain way, you're a Muslim, and that you're a terrorist.
Right.
So we just want to dispel some of those myths. Holimah can tell, if you can answer the question, what was the codicils, if you will, of the faith of the American Muslim?
The Nation of Islam, I have to say, historically was intended to prepare people who had been in chattel slavery, up for chattel slavery, only about 60 some odd years, close to 70 years up in chattel slavery, on the heels of lynchings and Jim Crow. Okay. So the Nation of Islam was designed to rescue at that time we would call them Negroes, to rescue them and to offer them a faith that was lost from us in the process of becoming slaves in this country 4 centuries before that. So the idea of the Nation of Islam was to come and to wake up these people, wake up our people, and prepare them that there would come a time when they would follow the correct form of Islam. And it wasn't said to us that way, but we were told we would get the rest of the understanding of the religion later. So it evolved from being a social reform program with some introductions to the Islamic life. Basic principles we were stood upon, and that was believing that there is no God but God or Allah, to pray, to fast, to give charity, and to visit the first house of worship in the holy city of Mecca.
Right.
And those were the foundational things. We ate no swine, no pork. We didn't steal that way. No gambling, no vices. We were peaceful and clean and honest and morally upright people.
Right.
And that was our main focus. And the other part of the social reform was for us to do for ourselves and not to beg the society or the white man for his crumbs or handouts, and that we would do for ourselves. And that was emphasized mainly during the leadership of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad until his passing in 1975.
Well, now, thank you, Holimah. Sia, fast forwarding to right now today, and you see in the world where there's a lot of diversity going on in terms of Muslims, the treatment that they're enduring, the way they are treating Muslim women. Just a couple of days ago in New York, a Muslim woman was knocked down, I believe, some stairs of a rail station. To dispel the belief that all Muslims are terrorists, what can you say to give Americans some idea of the faith versus what the media has imparted in them and got them all confused about?
Okay, well, let's start by saying this. Islam is a faith of peace and love. Muslims are loving people, just like Christians are. There's no good or bad Muslim. There's no good or bad Christian or Buddhist. There's only good and bad people. Muslims are not terrorists per se. That is propaganda because it is easy to label people, especially when others don't know. Now, I've heard many people here in the West refer to somebody as a Muslim and somebody else as a European or an African. Muslim is not an ethnicity.
Right.
It is a religion. So we have to clarify that. You can be European, you can be Muslim, you can be Arab, you can be Muslim, you could be Arab and you can be Christian.
Right, it's not a nationality.
It's not a nationality,
Absolutely.
it's not an
Exactly.
ethnicity, it's a religion.
Exactly.
So, by saying that Islam is a faith of peace, let's put it this way. You spoke about the woman being harassed because she was wearing a hijab,
Right.
headscarf. Virgin Mary wore a headscarf. Christian women wear headscarves. They still do in
And
Greece,
nuns
my
do
country.
too.
Nuns
There,
do
there are
too.
certain sects of,
Absolutely.
of Christianity where women still cover up from
Right.
head to toe.
Absolutely.
In this country.
Right.
Absolutely.
So if you look at a woman from behind and you can only see her head wrapped in a scarf, you can't know if she's a Muslim or a Christian. Even if you look at her face, you still can't know. So I think that's not fair.
Well, I think what's
It's not.
unfair is the American government have went and round up many of Muslim men just because they were Muslim, and round them up and put them in prison camps. Not only put them in prison camps, but here's the thing: every time I get on a plane and I see a Muslim, a person that I think is a Muslim, I don't even know if they're Muslim or not.
Right, you can't know.
Okay, I don't even know what their practicing faith is, but when I see someone that I think is a Muslim on an airplane, especially a male, I automatically, terrorists pop up in my brain. Not that I'm prejudiced towards
Right,
them or
right.
any of that, but because of what I've seen in the media on a regular, mind you, every day, if you look at the news 24/7, you're going to see this.
You know what the thing is? Islam does not support terror. Nowhere in the Quran does it say to go kill somebody. Nowhere. Nowhere does it say an eye for an eye. There's no revenge in Islam. There's no killings. It does not support terror.
And I grew up in a Muslim household. My mother is
Right.
still a practicing Muslim. So culturally, I was brought up that way. At no point, at no time in my entire young life, and I left the faith when I was 16 years old, but my entire young life, did we protest? Did we
Right.
threaten anybody? Did we strike? Did we raise a fuss? It was a coming together of the black community, teaching each other how to behave as human beings. Basically, that was it. And that's, like I said, it's from my cultural side. We prayed. We went on. We had our Ramadan, and all those things happened. I learned those things. But what it did was that taught me a self-worth of a person. That's who I am. And then we weren't taught to fight to kill anybody.
Right.
We weren't told to go out and cause ruckus anywhere. So to say that the Islamic faith is based in terrorism is just like saying all Mexicans hate all white people.
Well, guys, I want to thank each of my guests. I want to thank you, Sia, and I want to thank you, Holimah Ali. I want to thank you very much for sharing that information. Check it out before you just automatically believe what the media has to say. So I want to thank you so much for being here this evening. And I want to thank you also, Sia, for being here this evening. And we're going to take a break.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can stop to make sure someone is okay.
We can warn someone when their drink isn't safe.
And disrupt the situation.
We can
get someone a cab
or walk them home safely.
We can make campuses safer for our friends,
our roommates,
our classmates, our fellow human beings.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can intervene.
It's on us.
All of us.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
So this last interview we just did with
Holimah Muhammad Ali, granddaughter of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad of the Nation of Islam.
We are going to have her back on the 22nd of December. She's going to talk a little bit more about the Western Muslims because there are some things that she really wants to say and wasn't able to say them because of time. So, Christos, how you doing?
I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Joe's poetry excerpts from my resume. So, without any further ado, take it away, Joe.
Everybody's praise isn't the same praise, but it's praise all the same. Should I praise him as the world 3 times in a year? Should I fall on my knees, pour out my heart in tears? Should I raise my hands high and surrender? Should I raise my hands high? Should I crawl into a corner, wrap my arms around my body from my head to my toes and shiver in fear? Should I give thanks daily? Should I praise portions too meager to share? Where should my praise begin? Should I praise you for the trials that tried my patience? Should I thank you for the help that came with names unmentioned? Should I praise you for those shoes on my feet when before I had none? Should I praise you for the day before it's begun? If all praise is the same and all praise is the claim to the God of all creation, to the God of all nations, should I praise you just the same? But my praise is silent in my heart and in my soul. It's as private and precious as silver or gold. Should my praise be with fools who know nothing of your majesty, though they praise as I do and they fall on their knees too? With their hands held high to the bright moon sky, they sing and they worship the God on high. I question if they know my God of deliverance, my God of salvation would not have such and live in ignorance. My God wants us all to know the truth of this life, why we struggle and toil and live in such strife, why God sees all and knows all and all that there is. Should I fall into the depths of depression or trials of tribulation? Should I stumble in my journey to him, to who will be close by my side, to regard his words, to swallow my pride? That your love should be open, a world of peace and contentment, to show me my true self, who I am, what I should have been. I'm not who I claim to be. My strength, my love, my faith, it's feeble at best. Should I depend on him for my soul to rest? My head, it says yes. His logic is clear. My heart yearns for him so dear. Should I praise him as those who only want to be a part of the crowd, whose voice only mingles with those whose voice is not loud? Should my praise be mixed with those who do not know? Should I just go and praise him on my own? I know one thing for sure, as each day goes by, I will praise him forever until I be grown, until I leave this earth and make heaven my home.
All right. Thank you, Joe.
You're welcome.
That was beautiful and very befitting.
Yes, I thought
Sure,
it
you're
was.
going to make us cry one of these days.
I'm going to pick something
wait a
out just
minute.
for tears.
Yeah, no. Pick up something and hit him with it first.
Yeah. You know, he get on my nerves, but I don't think I can ever raise my hand.
Yeah, real sensitive.
Yeah, really.
So what's on your mind? Wait a minute. At this time, we're going to bring you Christos. Christos thoughts. We take no part in whatever it is that's coming out of his brain. We take no responsibility for it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, go boy.
Yeah, here we go.
Help yourself.
Okay.
Let's see what you got.
Well, we have to talk about it, though.
I'm ready. We're ready.
I don't want to just say it and
Okay,
then,
so
and
but
then the show is over.
Well, make it something we can talk about.
All right. Every other night, I'm driving or during the day, it doesn't matter. And I come across this train tracks, and the train goes by 20 minutes, an hour. And here is an ambulance waiting there to go through. Now, in this day, 2016, we have been going to the moon. We're looking for planets out there, and we can't even make a damn train go either under or up, and people are dying waiting in ambulances. Who is in charge? Let's talk about it.
Oh, okay.
Well,
you want to go first?
Yeah,
Go for it.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say a little bit.
Okay.
What I've noticed, because the infrastructure, one of the things that Barack Obama got into office with was he wanted to build up America's infrastructure because our infrastructure is dilapidated and outdated. And so what he wanted to do was, you know, to do some renovations on our infrastructure. And one of his hurdles was getting these bills passed in Congress because of it being an all Republican Congress, or you got some Democrats who just don't side with the president, not based on not agreeing with what he has to say, but a lot of them is based on what color he is. However, what I've noticed in my area, they're starting to build bridges over the train tracks so that people don't have to be inundated with a train that lasts 20 minutes, you know, because that's ridiculous. And I agree with you. You know, ambulance shouldn't have to wait for a train, but if they don't want to kill their patient, I would suggest that you do.
So, off the political end of it, and it's still kind of political. Was having a discussion recently, it was a couple of months ago, that Chicago is trying to get these new kind of crafts that like go up in the air now. I promise you, I am not making this up. It's gonna be more like the Jetsons than you can believe. You can the downtown in the city of Chicago, and you'll be able to navigate the entire loop. And these things, they are off the ground, in the air, traveling in the air. And that is going to circumvent a lot of heavy traffic.
And you're talking about downtown again.
No, I'm saying it's things like that. They lay
I don't
the
think
foundation.
he's talking about traffic, though. I think he's talking about trains.
But I'm just saying, they lay the foundation for people to have to travel and not have to ever see trains again. You can just bypass all of it.
First of all, I cannot comprehend people. I cannot comprehend that this idea that Republicans and Democrats, they both country clubs with members. If the infrastructure in this country is dilapidated, who the hell cares if it's a Republican or Democrat? They're not going to fix the infrastructure of Brazil. They're fixing their own damn country. What do you mean it is Republican and Democrats? They're not going to fix Nicaragua's infrastructure. What do I care if it's a Democrat or Republican? They're fixing their own country.
So here's the thing, Christos.
What is the thing? Let's fix this country.
Understand this.
What do you mean Republican and Democrat? I'm tired of that.
Well, wait a minute. First of all, the Democrats and the Republicans.
Yes.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
First of all, the Democrats and the Republicans isn't a country club.
Yes, it is.
No, just
with members.
Let me finish.
Okay.
I agree with you on that one.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
Wait a minute. It isn't a country club. It is supposed to be political groups, left and right.
No,
okay?
they're country clubs.
Just let me finish.
Okay.
Now, you have a president who was in office who's a Democrat, but some of his own people would not vote his bills in order for him to fix this country, because there's a process that they have to go through in order to get the money to have the okay to rebuild America and rebuild the infrastructure. And I agree with you. This is some kind of crazy, because it shouldn't be like that when it comes down to rebuilding this country. Because when they had the tsunami in Thailand, when they had the earthquake in China, when they had the earthquake in Japan and in Brazil, America was Johnny on the spot, bringing them money to help them rebuild these countries. I don't understand why, if they can do that for another country, why can't they get on the boat and do it for our country? Why they can't do it at home?
Exactly.
Well,
I agree with you.
Here's the thing, you have to think about it, and I agree with you all too, but America does certain things because they are part of the United Nations, and the United Nations come together, and they all put their money in the pot and say, well, this is what we're going to put in to help these countries that need the help right now. Well, when you're talking about the infrastructure of our country, trains, planes, automobiles, and all that stuff, that's an internal issue that happens within this country. So with President Obama, unfortunately, like KT said, I completely agree. His hands were completely tied on so many things, and still are to this day. They still won't even look at his nominee for the Supreme Court. Well, so we already know that's going to be.
Who the president is,
when
guys.
when DT decides to put somebody up for a nomination, they're just going to accept him like Bozo the Clown, whatever.
It doesn't matter who the president is. When it
Sure
comes
does.
to infrastructure,
It does matter.
it's the Americans' problem. It's not the president's
Of
problem.
course, it's the Americans' problem,
is
but
the
it's the
president's
president
problem.
is the one who has to
Yes.
sign off on those
Yes.
bills. And
Okay.
if he puts a bill out there in Congress and the Senate and the congressmen, they say, we don't want to be bothered with this right now. We're doing something more important. They can sit on it, and they do. They sit
That's
on
right.
tons
And
of
it never
bills,
makes
never
it to the
the
floor.
president's office.
It never makes it to the floor, so it can be voted on.
They have shut down the government on him just so they can have their way because they did not want him passing any bills that were contrary to their agenda.
Those are not Americans. They
Well,
should care
they
for
live
this country
here, they were
first.
voted in, and they
This
still run
country
the
comes-
country.
You know what I would like to say,
Local
Christos?
What?
Thank you for your thoughts. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate
God bless America.
Yeah.
We'll fix it someday.
And God bless you too.
Thank you.
And my rebuttal is pretty simple. Back to hypocrites. Listen, the main people out there talking about people who are doing things such as, I hear preachers talk about it's bad to be gay and how it's an abomination and blah, blah, blah. And they are behind the curtain doing this abomination. So I say this to say, God created us all, okay? He created every last one of us. And usually the faults that you can point out about somebody else, if you look a little closer, you can actually find those same faults within yourself. Because usually we are guilty of what it is that we say someone else is guilty of. Why? Because you got to know what it looks like in order to point it out. So I say this, before you sit back and become a self-righteous individual, like your stuff don't stink, I want you to take a moment before you speak and consider that whatever it is you're critiquing about someone else may be the same issue that you have. With that, I want to say thank you, Joe.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Christos.
Thank you. God bless America.
Thank all my guests this evening. And please go to the Jamaica Funk Show with KT Facebook page. So it's Jamaica Funk with KT Facebook page. Please like us. Okay, and if you see a video you like on there, like it and share it. Also, you can catch us on our website, which is JamaicaFunkShow.com. Check us out on Joe's poetry, excerpts from my resume. You can also go to
Johanna Bright, poet, author extraordinaire. It's my resume. You can pick it up at Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, Power Bookstores, BooksAMillion.com. I'm everywhere you want to read.
the ChristosFurs.com webpage also to see all the beautiful furs that we have here in the salon. I mean, it's really a great place. You need to check us out. 10411 West Cermak Road in Westchester, Illinois. And then we have Holimah Muhammad Ali, who will be here on the 22nd. She won't be in studio, but she will be phoning in again to do the second part of her interview, so she can actually be a little bit more clear and concrete about some things that are going on today in the Nation of Islam. So with that, we appreciate you being here. Come back and see us again next week on the 15th. And until then, well,
Ay, Rahman.